Can you guys hear me? Hey, Kenneth. So I'm going to continue working on my multi-agentic model here. And I was doing some heavy end runs yesterday. And it was failing here. And this run it's not a simple run either. So this is the equation that I gave it. And I'm going to, most models have a hard time solving this because how complicated the math is to be able to get this. And I'm trying to get my model to do this. And it keeps, it won't even complete the run. I'm trying to track that down here, the actual run. It didn't even complete, it failed. So I'm trying to find out where it hung at. And it tried to do it for almost 18 minutes trying to solve it before it failed. I'm also working on a CLI for it as well. So here is the multi-agent model here. And I'm working on my own CLI that I can run. And it connects it because my multi-agent's inside of a Docker. So I can't access anything outside the Docker. So the CLI is going to be the tool. That's just like how Codex or Claude does it. And I'm building it from scratch here. See if I can actually run it here. Nope. So you didn't hear, King? So our government went ahead and said, nope, it's too powerful. And they made Anthropic shut it down. So their initial release, let me find it here. I forgot where it was. Yeah, so this one right here from Anthropic. This is a statement on the U.S. government directives to suspend access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5. So any foreign country or foreign person inside or outside the U.S. is not allowed to have access to Mythos 5. If you're not a foreign, right here, and if you're not a foreign person, it's okay. You're allowed to have access to it. But how does Anthropic identify who's foreign and who's not? That is almost an impossible task. So they just had to shut it down for everybody. Yeah, this actually happened at 5 o'clock yesterday, 5:30. Yeah, right here. We received a directive from the government today at 5:21 Eastern. The letter did not provide specific details of its national security concerns. It's just crazy. It'll just require passports. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here's my birth certificate, my identity, my license, my fingerprints. Now can I use Fable 5? Yeah. And who gets to store that information? Is it the government or is it going to be Anthropic? Is Anthropic going to have everyone's information? Yeah, it's wild. Can't believe that they're going through that. Which is, it's sad. At the same time, it's like, okay, are we at the peak of our model right now? Can we not get anything better than what we have now because it's too dangerous? So whatever we currently have, which is either GPT 5.5 or Claude, the Opus 4.8, is that like the strongest model we're allowed to, as consumers, allowed to use? And then again, they may reevaluate those and be like, nope, even those are too powerful. Let's give them the dumber models. So, and that's kind of funny because it kind of aligns with what I'm building here. This is going to be a free open source tool that I think can be as powerful, if not more powerful, than how Fable 5 is. And the way it does it is it's a multi-agentic model. So it actually has multiple models built into it that runs different parts of the tool. So each one of these, you can separate what model you're using for these. So if you want, each one of these is like a separate piece of the brain. And if you want like Claude to do your conversing and do your triage, but you want Codex to do your executive and Minimax to do your research, whatever you want to do, you set this up. And all together, each one of these is like a single piece of the whole organism. And the whole organism is, you got your full brain here. This is the model right here. But when you actually look inside the model, there's different pieces and parts to it. The entire model is broken up into each individual model piece. But it's all governed together as a single whole model. So when I'm chatting to this here, I'm chatting to every single one of those parts of the brain, and it depends on what it's doing. And you can change like how much brain input you want to use. So I'm just going to talk to it. Right now it's conversing. And what I like about this is you could run this with even local models if you want, or set up your own server with your own models in it. And government can't touch that. It's your own private stack here, your own model. So I'm not trying to compete with the flagship models out there. They got these single models that are like almost a trillion parameters. We're never going to have the infrastructure to run something like that. However, with the smaller models collectively, it can actually be as smart as one of those flagship models. It can program as good as one of those flagship models. And it actually learns on its own. It can create its own skills. Here's some of the skills that it created already. It'll go through, so as it's developing, as it's coding for you, it'll actually learn how to code. It'll learn new techniques, and it'll actually understand what it's doing. So the base model is already pre-trained, like, hey, this is how I'm going to code it because that's what I'm trained on. But after a while, with the collective models in a single AI, multi-agentic model, it'll actually reevaluate every decision it makes, and it'll develop skills based on that. M3 is even massive for local usage. Yeah, and that's what this is. This is I'm using M3 right now for most of my models. So if I go to my models here, most of these are already M3. I do have some that are M2. Well, I did. Looks like it was changed. And for my embedding, I'm using just a local model. So if I come to my task manager here, I have my local model loaded, and it's actually doing some processing right now. It does embedding. So, and this thing works really good. It's fast. It's like my own model. I'm talking to all these parts of the brain. Let's see. So I'm going to turn this up to medium here. All right, tell me a little bit about the creation of Disney World. It's if it's not pre-trained in its data, it'll, even if it is, it still goes through and gets the right information depending on what's happening here. So if I go to live run here, each one of these pieces is a model, and then the model itself has multiple pieces into it as well. So the researcher may be accessing the memory right now to see, okay, do we already learn this? And if not, let's go ahead and access the learning. We're going to go ahead and learn this. This is something new I haven't discovered yet, or even up-to-date information. Like most models are trained on last year's data or even older. So this will be like, hey, this is new. This isn't, my trained data says this is in 2025. Today's 2026, and here's the newest news. So it'll, and right there you can see it actually accessed the memory. It's actually learning, it's creating, now it's reasoning. And now when I ask this question in a whole new session, it can gather that data based on what it learned. I haven't seen the benchmarks for GMO 5.2 yet, no. Hey, Johnny, what's up? And right there, it went back to the research. So it's actually going through different pieces, and it's figuring it out. It's learning. It's still working just off this question here. It's actually figuring it out. And this is how it works when it's programming for you too. And it's not gonna, you are not gonna get the speed with this model as you would with like Claude or Codex, because there's a lot more happening behind the scenes, and it's not going to be as fast as them. However, it can get as smart as them, and that's the important part, is be able to run a model like this for fractions of the cost and be able to produce the same output. Then went back to reasoning. And I could actually come in here and see all the steps it's taken. And remember, I had this on medium right now. And if I max it out, it'll do some real processing, real thought processing. Like, let me mold on that for a while. You got one pass, balance, thorough, relentless, and it just does everything. But I have it on medium right now, and so it's really taking its time thinking about this question. And next time I ask it, it'll run a lot faster because it'll already have that information. What's up, Limix? Yeah, and this, I'm having Codex build up to CLI. The other thing I've been working on my Forge here, I would love to be using this right now, but it's not broadcasting, and that's what I've been trying to figure out. Broadcast out to your team to ask them what their current situation is. Broadcast to the director, let them know you're available. I understand there's no response, but you're not broadcasting to them. You need to let them tell you if they're available or not. Why are you running an extra shell? Oh, that's stupid. Okay. Freaking Claude. Yeah, see, it's still not working here. Okay, I had the director try broadcasting out to his team again. It still is not going through. And then I had one of the team members try broadcasting back to the director, and it looked like it did the commands and everything, but nothing, the director didn't get his broadcast. Is Plyrium Forge finished? No, definitely not finished. It'll never be finished. That's what's great about it. I got a codex message. What? How did I already use it all up already? Are you still going? This is still going. I got a reset I could use, but I don't want to use that right now. What the heck are they doing to me here? Yeah, I know. I am. I did that because I want to use as much as I can. So when I use my reset, I want to get like a full week's use out of it, and as in like a couple days instead of a whole week. And then I want to use my reset. So now, and then I'll turn it all back down. So I'm trying to get as much as I can out of my free reset here. That's why it's on high right now. So plyOS is a multi-agent model that I'm building. This is it right here. So this little guy right here. So here we go. So it actually finished. Here's what the contents actually let us say, since you asked for a little bit here. And it actually went through. See, it should not be even talking about this. This is not related, and my agents here need to identify that as an issue. But it's a tool that you can run locally on your computer or on a server, and you can actually run your own version of GPT or Codex, but it's your own model here. It's a multi-agent model. So I'm building my own model in a way, but it's using multiple models built into it. There's several different models that are running different parts of the brain, and this is, like I was telling people, this is the actual brain right here and the activity, and so this is the whole model right here, my single agentic model. But inside, it breaks it up into several different pieces, and each one of these is its own AI, but all together, it makes a unified brain. It's like a single organism, is how it works. So, no, it's not open source yet. I haven't released it yet. I'm going through and fixing all the bugs. I want to do some benchmarks because I want to have falsifiable data for the claims I'm making before I release it. I got to have a good install package for you guys. Nice, clean setup and installation. So, I mean, there's a lot of work that I have to do on my end to get this ready for release for you guys. I'm hoping soon though, because especially with the, what they did with Fable 5, I think this will be the next step, because you can run this. So imagine if you were running this as a multi-agent and every single one of this part of the brain is Codex or Anthropic's Opus, right? So now you just took Opus and you gave it a superpower brain. So it's even more powerful than the original raw version of Opus or the original raw version of GPT-5.5. And that's the whole purpose of this, is to be able to take your model and supersize it, make it a genius. So whatever model you're using, you just increase the value of it. So like right now I'm running Minimax on this. And I'm already doing things that the raw Minimax cannot do. I've actually, that it has no domain over, or it has no understanding over it. And I'm actually, this as Minimax, I gave it superpowers using this here. The bare bones setup, it's actually running on Docker. It's in a Docker right now. So you can use, it'll install on Linux. You can install on your Windows. Think of like OpenClaw or how Hermes is set up in a way. But this is the server side. And you run this in your, whatever server you want, whether it's a Docker or on your own computer or on some server that you have at home, or even server in the cloud. You just install it on there and get it set up. You set up the APIs for subscription-based models, whatever one you use, and that's it. It'll turn on. In fact, there is I'm working on this, but if I come in here and go to, let me find it here. Wait, where is my, I'm not seeing the tool here. But yeah, I'm going to have a whole setup wizard where you install it, set it up, and it'll actually get everything ready for you. I think it's Smart Edit. Yeah, right now I'm using Minimax API. And this is the usage that I've been looking at here. So I've had this for a while now, and I've been doing nothing but brute force testing on it. And I have only the $20 subscription for Minimax. I don't have the high one, just a little $20 one. And this thing it barely moves, but I'm using it inside my Agentic OS. And it's constantly, look at all these runs that I've already did here. And I've actually done a lot more in this. I've reset this a couple times. So, and it'll actually go through and it'll use, all different, it'll use the AI multiple times, that's inside of it. It's got a built-in knowledge graph. You could, sort it by domain. It's got, its own personalized SoulMD here, so you can give it a personality if you want. It creates its own skills, so as it's learning and adapting, it'll actually go through and it'll start creating its own skills, and it'll start using those skills, and different parts of the brain will start using those skills. So there's each one of these nodes is like a different piece of the puzzle to make the whole thing work. And then it does pruning because all the skills that's creating, all the knowledge and everything else, and it can actually take that and it can extrapolate new ideas, new versions of the skills, and it'll run, you can run a dream where it'll actually start, think of it like a back-end process for a cron job. That's what the dreaming does. It actually consolidates and prune and update anything that needs to happen, and it'll take the the different pieces that it learned throughout the day, and it'll consolidate them together, and it can develop new ideas and ways to do things just based off the dreaming here. And if you go to the settings here, right now it's not in the dream mode, but I can turn it on auto low or even overnight, and then go to bed. And it'll sit there and it'll consolidate for me all night long. Or I can just turn it on auto low, and it'll do it behind the scenes while I'm still working on it. And I could change like how long it'll do it for, and before it'll switch back to the ask. But if I want it on safe mode, it won't let me go there, right? So let's see here. What else is there? There is an approval process, so there is a whole AI council that's behind that works together. There's 5 council members, and then you have your neutral critic at the end, and they have to make decisions on several different things. For instance, on new tools like this one right here, the monologue got together and they wanted to create a different goal here. Here's the payload, create a goal, and this one here should be. Let's see. Yeah, same thing. This is also creating a goal. So either I can approve, deny it, or the council does it for me, and I don't have to. And they'll reject it too. Like this one was rejected here. And this is like a cleanup. Let's see what else here. Yeah, these are all rejected. But there's a lot that was approved. And if I go into the goals here, you can give it a task to run overnight, and it'll continue that task until it's done, or until it reaches goal criteria. You can also do that in the chat here. So if I type in goal here, and this will tell you, bank a goal, save for the goals page, you know. Let's see. Make sure it's not waiting for me. Okay, that's still working here. And you're still running. I believe it's still doing things. Yeah. And I'm building my own CLI right now, my own CLI for your terminal. And that's what, so that way you can access it even if it's off your main computer. Why would somebody use this over Hermes or Odysseus? So it has nothing. It's different than those. That's a different tool. Hermes is a totally different tool. Odysseus is a agentic tool it's pretty much like it's just a desktop tool, right? Like this right here. This is a desktop tool. Odysseus is a desktop tool. It doesn't take a bunch of models together and turn it into one big model. It doesn't do that. Neither does Hermes. Hermes is more of a background automation type task that always runs. Hermes does learn how you work and how you develop. It's a great tool. I love Hermes. Hermes is great. I even run Hermes. But this is not it's different than Hermes. If you want an idea of what it's closer to, it is closer to Microsoft's M-Dash. Yeah, here we go. So Microsoft, they have a multi-model agentic tool, or it's a model. And the way theirs works is the same as how I'm building mine out. And you could actually go through and read this and learn how they did it. I did, and that's how I'm able to build what I'm building today. So it's not Hermes, it's not OpenClaw, it's not Odysseus. What I'm building is different than that. I'm building more what M-Dash is. So if you look at what their model is doing, their multi-model, it actually, on their cyber gym benchmark here, it beat Claude's Mythos. And they didn't use Claude Mythos inside there. They didn't use no personalized or some special model. Their multi-model is a bunch of smaller models. And it was able to beat Mythos. Like a huge amount. And this is what it does. It does recon, discovery, triage, bug triage, and it goes through these steps. So, and that's what I was trying to show you here. Mine does the same thing. Mine goes through the different steps as well. There is a triage. So, yeah, so here's the steps, right? It goes through, and it has to, before it gets to the end or to the response, it's sort of doing the same thing. So this is not Hermes, it's not OpenClaw, it's way different. I don't use OpenClaw, but I do use Hermes to just for smaller tasks, back-end tasks. Okay, so what exactly does your tool do? It's an agentic model. I'm creating my own model. You got Claude, you have Codex, you have M-, and now you have plyOS. Mine's a model that you can use. And you can run it on your own computer, your own server. You set up your own mini models inside of it. If you want your mini models to be Opus 4.8, you can. Those are your mini models. And then this will take all those mini models and turn it into, all together collectively, it's one single organism, one big model. So you're pretty much given your, like right now I'm using Minimax. Minimax is my mini model. I have a bunch of, and each one of these is a separate session of its own Minimax. And collectively together as the whole model itself, the multi-agentic model, this is the brain power of it. So I just supersized Minimax. I just made it 1,000 times better because of how it works. How the knowledge vault works? It's I'm using Obsidian. It's just Obsidian. There's nothing special about it. The graph, so there's several tools that I have built into it that I'm using. I got Honcho is one of them, Obsidian, and then Graphify is the other one. I have Redis, and there's one other one. But I'm using different tools to help pieces of the memory, different parts of the memory, and in the end, I build it together. I turn it into an actual memory. So like, here's my ideas. Here's the memory of the ideas. And these are all, whether it was a good memory to save or not, it'll quarantine it. And I can come in here and I can see the full context of this memory here. I can actually, let's see here. I can see how memories are born. Like right here, this memory here, for factual historical questions, the research node must actually, that's just a breakdown, but this is a memory, and I can see, okay, what generated this? What prompted I use that made it want to keep this as a memory? And I can look in here and see this is where that memory was born at. It's that the Disney World question that I just ran. So it actually developed a memory based on that. It put in its history, semantic, and it was 18 minutes ago. So that question that I asked about about Disneyland, it actually went out and got the latest data, the latest information, and updated its memory on it. And right now it's just an L1. There's certain levels. And that's based on factual information, how factual the history is, or how factual the research was. And there is agents that happen inside that'll go through and it'll actually verify those facts, and it'll actually jump this up to either L2 all the way up to L7. Those are like the super hard-coded, unfalsifiable facts. So, and that's just how the memory is stored. It can, that way it doesn't just make up stuff and create its own memory based off dumb knowledge. It won't hallucinate. Yeah, I mean, you don't understand the use case. The use case is you have you can use the raw AI, for instance, Minimax. Let's just say you have Minimax, you're not using my tool, and you're using that to do your coding. My tool is a separate model for Minimax. I'm just using Minimax as part of the pieces that, underneath the hood. So, and you can use my tool for your coding, or you can use Minimax for coding. That's up to you. That's the use case, or developing, or whatever you want to use it for. This is an AI. That's like saying, why would I use Claude? You know, there's no use case for it, or I don't understand. What's the use case for it? That's technically what you're asking me about mine. This is my model that I'm building. Like Microsoft, you know. It's like you asking, well, why would I use M-Dash? What's the use case for it? Well, it's a model. There's a lot of use cases for it. So far, it beat Mythos. And the reason why it's a multi-agentic model is because it's got several different mini models into it. These are all separate models, and together they cannot work individually by themselves inside here. It's like a single organism, like how your brain works. And the same thing. You have multiple parts of your brain that does different things, like you're holding your memory, long-term, short-term. You have parts of your brain does your thinking, your inner monologue. It handles your nervous system. I mean, your brain's constantly doing stuff. But it's just not like, it's not a parallel, or I guess not a parallel, but like a singleton system. It's a multi-system. Your brain has multiple compartments in it that's doing different things. And that's exactly what this is doing. It's got multiple compartments doing different things. So, and you can set this up with, you can even do free AI if you want. I mean, it's up to you. Or you can do local AI if you want. But whatever you're using, whatever AI you're using as the back end, you're supercharging it. You're making it that much stronger. And you can use multiple different AIs. It doesn't have to be the same. If you want the triage to be Claude, you can. If you want the Converse to be Minimax, you can. And it'll all work. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit there. It's definitely not something easy to explain what I'm doing here. Now, are you still running? Okay, this finally stopped. Am I going to have to use my free credits? 12:01. So in 2 hours, I'm going to reset. I only have 36% left. I guess I can use my free credits. Yeah, so yeah, I've been using ultra high on everything here and fast speed. So I can actually change that to standard, and then I still want you on ultra high, but you can go to high. And then we are going to use my free reset here. And there we go. All right, keep going. Okay, keep going. There, dang it. And see, when Claude did their stupid crap with Fabel, they should have gave me my free credit. And that way I can use it when I'm ready for it. But instead, they were like, we'll just go ahead and reset everyone's usage right now. The bad thing about that, my usage just resetted probably an hour before they decided to put that in there. So my free usage is not as good as what I just did with Codex. Yeah, what Claude did, what Claude did was kind of stupid. How does this help me get 1 million AR? By vibe coding and put my ideas and building applications and things like that. I have a grand plan. I just have to, I'm building the pieces to get there. Fable 5 or Fable 5. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is it possible to make new language using AI? Are you doing that? I'm not creating a brand new language, no. Oh, you mean programming language? Yes. So I have a project for that, and I'm working on that as well. Um, Let me show you here. So plyQ is a brand new programming language that I'm building from scratch. Is that what you're asking? So yes, I'm doing that. Okay, you're working. And what are you doing? Okay. Mordecai Sharp language. And yeah, so new programming. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, you can make that's what I have here. This is new programming language I'm working on. I'm calling it plyQ. You want me to show how I use Hermes? Let's see here. I don't know why it does this. Hermes is so buggy. There we go. So I use Hermes as a backup. So I'm using the Minimax 3 on here, but I use it for managing my local model, my services. I use it for checking the health of my PC and things like that. Nothing too fancy, but that's all I use Hermes for. I got cron job set up, Agent Skill Watcher. I mean, there's nothing really set up or anything too fancy. So if I go to, what's the Hermes dashboard here? Let me see here. Sorry, I'm trying to find the Hermes dashboard. I don't see where it's at. Guess I could ask Hermes. Hey, what's the Hermes dashboard, the URL on the computer here? You want me to show how to use Hermes? Not in this live stream, no. Maybe I'll do it later on today. I could probably show you, but I'm not going to do that right now. So Hermes is like a way better version than OpenClaw. If anybody is not familiar with what Hermes is, you can have it do automated tasks in the back end, like keep an eye on my emails that come in. If you see any spam, get rid of them. Keep an eye on my firewall and see if they're getting attacked by anything, or once you run a cron job that does this. You can set it up to do all sorts of things, whatever you want to do, whatever you need an assistant to do. You can use it for coding if you want. Develop this app for me, Yeah, there it is right there. That's the one I was looking for. So Well, that didn't work. That failed. Hermes, you failed me. Yeah, so what is it right now? Because port 8000, I got a detail not found. Yeah, I've heard of people using Hermes that runs parts of their business. I don't know how true that is or how much they've set up. I haven't done anything that extreme to it. I am not a Hermes expert. I'm really not. I'm not the go-to guy to ask for Hermes questions. There is a ton of resources out there on YouTube if you want to understand the different use cases for Hermes. I got it for just very small, minute jobs that I don't want to do every single day or that I'm not paying attention to. And Hermes is paying attention to those mute jobs that I really don't care about. So that's what I'm using Hermes for. But what is the stupid thing? And where are we at here? I heard a click. Is that Hermes? Oh, there's the other one. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Because I got a dark theme one here. Yeah. Wow, that's kind of... What the heck's going on here? What the heck's going on? What is this? What the hell is this? That is not what I was expecting. Yeah, Hermes dashboard's way different than that. Wow. Yeah, that's not the dashboard I'm talking about. There's a Hermes dashboard that's not running. That was weird. Am I a citizen? Are you asking if I'm a U.S. citizen? Yes, I am. I am not a foreigner. But I don't have access to Fable 5 either. The problem with that is Anthropic is the company. And as a company, how are they supposed to know who is a foreigner and who is not? There's no way for that company to be able to identify each person who has access to their service. If they did, they would have to set up something, and they would have to get with their lawyers to find out what they're allowed to do, what they can't do, and then get with the government to see what they're allowed to do, what they can't do. So it is not an easy process. So instead of just saying, okay, click this button if you're a U.S. citizen, now you can use it, they can't do that. So they had to shut it down for everybody, and they did. Yeah, I wish they had a trust me bro, I'm a U.S. citizen button. What are you doing with this background task? What's running right now? It's sitting there for a while. See, I haven't used this on extra. Sometimes I'll even go to ultra on this one, depending on what I need done. Codex is becoming trash. Yeah, I agree with that. Is my kids interested? I mean, not really. They all have their own ideas what they want to do. So. Okay, so that chat I told you to look into and find out why it failed. You never came back with an answer for me. What? Oh, I never realized that. So if I turn on fast mode, it only uses 256K context. That's not good. Let's turn that off. Where's the heck did they do here? Where's my 1 million context? I never noticed that. Are you guys seeing this too on your quad? Or do you guys only have 1 million? Yeah, there's Fable 5. It's disabled. But I only have 1 million context. I mean, 256K context. That's wild. Hang on, I'm reading something that someone sent to me. Yeah, I don't understand what you sent me there. I mean, I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I don't understand why this is reduced. If I jump it up to max, does that change? 256K context. That's so weird. Okay. I mean, they technically made it dumber if they can't get the full context. Okay, so two things then. So I gave it a complicated question on purpose. I wanted to see how fast it can calculate something like that without building tools. Our brain is supposed to be able to map out and identify how to do something like that, and it should be able to create memory and skills based on that. So in the future, or even during the process, it can start learning how to process something like that to make it even faster. And that way it's not waiting 45 minutes to an hour just to compute it. So our brain needs to be able to get faster while it's learning. So what pieces are we missing there? He's messed up. Oh yeah, that happens all the time. My guy always messes up my own work, and I hate it when I go in circles with them. It's like they fix this bug and they break this one. Then I fix this bug and then they break this one. Then I fix this bug, then they break this one. And then I fix that bug and the original first one broke again. So I'm like, crap. So I got to go back and fix that one now. It's a constant circle with them. So yeah, so this is the services that are running right now. I got Quadrant, Redis, Postgres, and the actual server here, which is the Brain OS server, and you know, the different ports it's running on. So this is how I'm accessing it right now. So it's inside of a Docker. But you guys can run this however you want it to. Yeah, I know what the heart of it's supposed to be. Thank you. Hey, I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to step out just for a minute. I'm back. Yep, Fable's gone. I'm hoping that my tool here that I'm building is going to be just as good as Fable for way cheaper cost than what you would run Fable as. So let's see here. Yeah, we need to fix it where it does the handoff like that. Go ahead and plan out the flow of how that would look and how that would work. And let's discuss this to make sure that we identify the problems. So when I give it a complicated task, I want it to be able to learn as it's doing the task itself and to help speed up the process. So give me a game plan on what you're going to do to get the architecture to do that. Do I think it'll be up by Monday? No, I don't. I could be wrong though. I'm sure they have a whole team of lawyers and the government trying to figure out what they're going to do. But then again, Anthropic themselves, they're the ones who kind of push this. And sadly, if you come here, if you look at what Dario said the other day, how he's trying to, he's using the stupid Lord of the Rings analogy here about the Treants being slow in their decisions and stuff. He's kind of wanting the government to enforce AI. And not only his AI, he's actually going after OpenAI as well. He's like, hey, OpenAI has a problem. So he's kind of telling on them, like, hey, we tested this with OpenAI, and they have the same problem too. So, I think you need to govern everybody. So honestly, we may be at the cap of what AI is capable is for the user, the consumer. Now, they can use the bigger models. The government can use the bigger models, but we can't. So I think that's more of the direction they're heading. It's like saying, like warfare weapons. We can't have nuclear weapons, but, the government can. But your country can't, but our government can. Just stuff like that. And that's sort of what I'm seeing here. It's sort of how it's playing out. So, but people are smart. They figure out ways to get around dumb companies like that. And that's sort of like what I'm hoping I'm going to be building here. All right, so classify, match, triage, execute, tag to task, computational, extract, formalize, solvable, counting, power, simulation versus the deliberative, never heard of that. Open reasoning versus retrieval. Then ask, do we already have a method for this shape? Match by structure, not goal. Reuse, adapt, derive. So that works. I like your structure here. One thing I do want to ingrain is I don't want a model, my entire model here, I don't want it to just have the answer memorized. I want to have it teach itself on how it got to those steps. And that way, if something similar comes up, it can say, okay, here's the steps that we need to take because I already learned how to do that problem. I already learned how to do that. And this could be for coding. It could be for mathematical. It could be for science. It could be for any domain. But this triage, this loop that we're talking about here, needs to work for any and all of those type of complicated. So if anything takes too long, and there's obviously a thinking process that's happening with each individual model that's taken a while. So they actually need to work together to develop a method and technique to be able to get the answer faster and better solution. Snitches get stitches. Yeah. Hey, Maz, how are you? No issue. Yeah. So yeah, that's the other thing. So if let's just say China, they went ahead and they developed their own model that's as strong as Fable 5. What's that going to do? Is our government going to say, well, you're not allowed to access it? I mean, they're stepping on some shaky grounds there. They really are when it comes to our Constitution. Now, other foreign governments, they don't have a constitution like we have. So, if they want to block something, they want to block a website or block a tool that they deemed unnecessary or that their people can't use, they can do that. Our government is not supposed to do that. There's a whole legal system they have to go through just to even make something like that happen. So it's definitely some shaky grounds they're doing. Miles, are you freaking advertising on my channel here? What the hell is this? Hey, Andre. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about what I'm building here. I'm actually building it's called a multi-agentic model. It's just like how Microsoft built theirs. Microsoft built M-, which is a multi-agentic model. And their domain is security. So their code name M-, like I said, is a multi-agentic model. It harnesses orchestration more than 100 specialized AI agents. And these are all smaller models. And with this tool, so their single M- model, inside of it has a bunch of smaller models that does the work. And they work together as a single organism. And because of that and how they were able to do that, they were able to beat, on the Cyber Gym benchmark here, their M- beat Claude Mythos like huge amounts. So it's able to do a lot more vulnerability scanning and testing in real world scenarios way better than the actual Mythos did. And so Mythos is even stronger than Fabel. So M- tore Fable up. Like it just jumped leaps and bounds ahead. And I'm technically doing the same thing here with this tool here. This is my model that I'm building. And what it is, it's a multi-agentic model. So inside of it, I have a bunch of different tiny models that are doing the work for you, the orchestration. And it's actually a single brain. This is the brain here. This is the model. This is my agentic model, which I call plyOS. And each part of the brain that has different models built into it. And they have different tasks, different jobs. But collectively together, they become one single organism, one model. That's what I'm building. And that's what this is here. And I'm also building a CLI for it. And this is going to be open source. It's going to be free for everybody. So, okay, good. All right, I want to run it right now. How do I run it? You're trying to make a CLI, but you gave up. I've actually built a CLI here from scratch. So if you want PLI command installed into your terminal, yeah, I do. So let's do that. And then paste this. And I could just type plyOS like you do with Codex or any of the other ones. Yeah. Put in my environmental tables. Four minutes for one reply. It just depends on how intensive it is. I'm not claiming that I'm going to be faster than these flagship models. I am not claiming that at all. That's not what the purpose of this is. I'm giving you the intelligence of the flagship models at a way cheaper cost. That's the goal here. So yeah, it could take a while, but and I've tested it with coding and stuff. It's actually pretty fast with coding. It's not bad. Yeah. Configure an API token for the server. Wait, what are we doing here? Pair the machine with the host. Okay, it should be able to connect to my server, which is connected to, it's inside the Docker. And when I install it and set it up, I should just be able to type plyOS in my terminal and it should load the CLI. Let's see if this got done here. Yeah, so my multi-agentic model is not going to be as fast as these flagship single models. That's I don't have the infrastructure for that. neither will you. But if you want something that you can run locally or even offline, if you want to run it with the local models, which I have here, you can. But you're going to take your local model and give it superpowers is what you're going to be doing. I'm using the Max Pro for codecs. Send a broadcast to the director, let them know you're available. Why did this break? Oh, not you. I want the arrow. It is still not working. There's the message that I sent. I wanted to send a broadcast to the director, and it executed the tool. As you can see, the director did not get the response. All right. Oh, you like the brain representation? Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to put that in there for a good representation of what this is, how this works. And this is, like I said, this is my brain. Well, not mine, but my AI's brain. And it works in unison. And there's different compartments inside the brain. And each compartment manages different tasks. So you got memory, creative, tooling. You got safety, research, skills. I mean, just different parts of the brain. They do different things. So, and the inner works of the brain here, and how it's all connected. What's up, Hamid? I am making my multi-agentic model here. During sessions, how many usage like use? I mean, it keeps going. I already burnt out a lot of sessions already once, but I just resetted it. So, but I'm running 2 different sessions, and I had these on max speeds and ultra high, and I went ahead and just changed that back down. So, all right. Now we're going to turn this on ultra mode. All right, I just turned you on ultra code, and go ahead and get this done as fast as, or not as fast as you can, but as follow your own guide here, and make sure that you test every step and make sure that how do I put this? That you complete this end to end. Am I still on the stupid? Yeah. Did you guys see this here? I'm stuck at 256K contacts. I don't have the million contacts anymore. I don't understand what happened there. They definitely broke something here, or they're doing something behind the scenes. I'm really not happy with what Anthropic's doing. Now, Codex here, I should still have the million contacts, I believe. Well, here, actually, why don't I, because I should be able to, yeah, so right there even says 1 million contacts, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And here, I should have, well, this will tell me if it's a million contacts or not, does it? But I think they are. So I bet I have to restart my terminal here. So if I do that, there it goes. There's my own CLI. That's what I was looking for. What time is it? That's what I was waiting for. Jeez. It'll tell me my total token count. Approvals to server. I don't have a clock. That's true. You don't. And I will have different commands that this is already built into it. So yeah, this will come with its own CLI. So you could actually install the multi-agentic model in a Docker or even on a server in the cloud somewhere, or on a server somewhere located in your work office or building. And then you could have the CLI, it's built in CLI that'll connect to it. And I'm going to improve on this too. So let's see what Think does here. That's API error. And message validation error. Yeah, it definitely needs validation. So let me. Good, it works. One thing is, I'll just type in /think and see what it'll do, and I get this error. We need a clean, graceful error handling built into the CLI, and I need you to make sure that all the tools are functioning as they are written. Oh, you got Jim at 31B? I think the best one out there is the their 37 billion or 35 billion model, but with the MOE. That's the one to run it locally on mine. I've never tried the 31B one. And I'm sorry, not Gemma, Quinn. Use the Quinn. I think it's a little bit better than Gemma. Yeah, so I'm going to use Ultra Code here. And this actually isn't that bad on my token usage using Ultra Code, as long as I'm only running one thing at a time here instead of doing the multi-agents. So. Yeah, so the this model here, it can extrapolate ideas, make up stuff out of thin air, and based off of what it knows, what it learned. And I can look at, see what it says, what time is it? So that's from my CLI here. Let's go back to it. What other commands do we have? Analyze, that's broken too. Oh my gosh. Do none of the freaking commands work? Act. Yeah, it seems like none of the damn commands work. I'm going to give it a complicated math problem here, but not too complicated here. Let's see. Trying to find a good one here. This is actually a good one. Let's see if it can actually answer this one. I want you to try to solve this for me. And let's see what's happening behind the scenes here. And here it is right here. It came in, it's running. You can watch it live. So it went through the memory, it's reasoning. You can actually watch this 3D too. And you can see see how it's working, talking to each other here. So it's actually working inside the brain. And you can see what models are actually working right now. So like now, right, it's the reasoning. So that is what the brain's doing as it's thinking about this. This is a complicated question here. This is not easy to solve. In fact, I don't think it is solvable. There's no computation that can solve this. Even a calculator can't. It's really tough. Yeah, so that's exactly the idea behind it. But there's it's just not they just don't talk to each other. There's a governance and a council that manages them as well. And there's distillation, and there's a whole methodical way of doing this in a way that you're not going to mess it up. So if I go to, and I'll show you here what I'm talking about. If I go to the docs here and go to the system flow charts, so here is kind of like, can I expand this? No, I can zoom in. But here, this breaks down each piece. So here's a runtime brain workflow. And you got the user request that comes in. There's a firewall that traps any dangerous type things. It was a safe, valid input, yes. If not, then block, verify, or clarify or refuse. So it'll clarify. It'll actually loop back. So you're not giving it bad execution or a bad injection, skill injection, right? Or if you accidentally download a skill injection that'll crawl your computer and do bad things harmful without your knowledge, this is what the firewall's for right here. It actually prevents that from happening. And then from here, you got the execution brain, the understand the goal, create a task, which is called a backboard, and it'll actually route that task to each part of the brain. And then each part of the brain takes its turn on what it needs to do for that particular task. All still that one task, that one context window. And it's going through looping. There's a bunch of decision gates. And when it finally comes out with an answer, it'll return to the user here. And then you got the modeling role. So this is how the roles work. So you got the task type and the different types of roles built in. There is like I said, a governance system. This is the memory system flow, how the memory works. This is all built out in a way that it's just not just slapped together, is what I'm saying. So it actually provided me the answer. There it is. This is not a simple answer either. Yep, so negative. Yeah, it's a huge problem just to get to the answer of 42. So there we go. And that didn't take too long. And it completed it. So total duration, 137 seconds for it to make that calculations. And you can definitely use frontier models if you want, or you don't have to. It's up to you. Whatever models you want to put in here for each part of the brain, you could change it. Right now I'm just using Minimax. But if you don't want to use that, if you want to come in here and use Open Router or some local model, you can. Llama. There's a bunch of different models you can use here. DeepSeek, Grok, Together AI, Fireworks, Cerebus, Minimax. But yeah, it just depends on what you want to do here. Different models. And then this is your reasoning. So, you know, the thinking part, how much is it going to thinking? Right now, I have it set to max, and these are all inherited. But I can actually individually say the converse, I don't want thinking enabled for the converse. I could come here and fine tune exactly how I want my model to run, how well I want it to think, or how fast I want it to run. Here's the model catalog. You got the main chat model, the embedding model, and the whole brain. And this is from the pick here. So I could actually choose, like if I want a Claude subscription codex to be the entire brain, I can. And I could add a model from here. No, this is all built from scratch. There is no part of this is Hermes at all. Zero part of this is Hermes. Hermes is a different mechanism. That wouldn't even work for what I'm doing. And of course, there's a Hermes plan in here, but that has nothing to do with the architecture. But that's like Claude dumps their crap in here. Hermes put their stuff in here. I have Hermes in here doing certain things, but it's not a Hermes app at all. Not even close to being a Hermes app, how this works. In fact, if this is still going here. Oh, hang on here. I have it on top chat again. Let me go to live chat because I'm missing a bunch of stuff here. So sorry, hello. Can't you able to see my comment? Your comment was, and generate good amount of revenue? Is that what, I don't understand what you mean about that. Just asking your thoughts about it. Do you think AI already reached that level where you can make a full production level product end to end without manually touching and can handle millions of traffic? Yes, I do. I do think that, and I know that because I already did it. Let me show you just plyrium.com. This is my SaaS that I built. Claude built this before Fabel even was a thought about. This is a full functioning model here, or application. And this works really well. And I have several clients on it already. So if I go to, this is just a demo part here. But this is a fully functional system, that a back-end invoicing system. Or it's a whole package. It does more than just invoicing. It handles your whole back-end office for you. But it depends on the type of industry. So you got plumbers, HVAC, electrical. They can sign up for this, and they can use this as their whole back-end office. It's got AI built into it. AI manages a lot of automation for them, so they don't have to manage that. It even does marketing for you. It's got some built-in communication. There's your operations. You can manage your team, your fleet, workforce. So yeah, quotes, invoicing, does it all. My user base, right now it's US only users. It's blocked from anybody from outside the US. That's on purpose. Because I have governing systems in here that apply to US and Canada and nowhere else outside of that. But Yeah, it gets quite a bit of traffic, but I don't want to share any of that right now because this is actually I'm dealing with actual companies, their entire customer database, their invoice I mean, their whole livelihood is built into the back end of this, and I'm trying to keep it as secure as I can for them. So, but yeah, no, it works, and there's no issues with it. I even have Hermes going in and checking day-to-day stuff on that also. Any plans to white label it to people? I mean, eventually, but right now, no. I haven't. I don't have no plans yet. So, what do you guys think of the CLI so far that I built? It needs work, but hey, I built it from scratch without using without taking someone else's idea. Oh, AI can do a lot. I mean, I just showed you something here. Um, I built, whoops, wrong one. I built this whole AI model using AI. I mean, what more capabilities are you looking for? Do you want it to build Amazon and run it for you? I mean, I don't understand. Like, I mean, what limits are you trying to reach? AI is more than capable of doing most things most people want. Do you have prompts for the AI Brain OS? I want to try building it from scratch. Um, it's just not one. It's not a single one-shot prompt. There's thousands of prompts to get to where this is at now. It's just not like this is my idea. Create it, go. I wish it was that easy. It's not. When it comes to developing with AI or vibe coding, it's multiple prompts, multiple adjustments. So it's actually learning new stuff here, but all these got rejected. Quarantining. So no claims recorded to his memory yet. Truth layer builds on its own. Yeah. And this is the question that I asked it earlier through the CLI here. And this is it here, the answer. Where are these coming from? These should not be happening. This is a really hard problem here. I'm going to see if we actually fixed it to the point where I can run this here. So let me start a new conversation. This, I actually, running this, I locked it up. Oh, new. There it goes. Yeah, this is a wild one here. So all that data is on the home lab server. It's all inside my Docker. I have Docker here. Yeah, it's local. So everything you see here, and it's not very big, and it hardly takes any CPU usage at all to run this whole model. It's very lightweight. Yeah, Meta will eat up your money real fast if you don't know how to do it. when it comes to making ads, only give yourself like $2-3 a day just to run the ads, and you really have to fine tune it in a way until it starts to learn to understand what you're building. It takes a while for the algorithm to kick in, and then you can increase it a little bit as soon as you fine tune it more. But don't throw all your money away in ads. You'll just you won't get nowhere with it. There's a whole marketing strategy that takes place. I'm not an expert at it. I'm not the right person to ask when it comes to marketing. I'm horrible at it. There's some real good marketing people out there that understand it from end to end. I don't. It's all trial and error, and for me. Did you get it done? All right, let's see here. Let me, exit that. So let's see if Act needs a message. Oh, good. So that's working now. So my commands are working. So analyze. So I can have analyze, act, build. What else do we got here? See what the doctor looks like. I don't like how it pops below it, though. That's just weird. Solve? No. No, no, no. I didn't mean to put that in there. I don't like how I can't click in it and move things around. So I'm going to have it fix this here. So the commands, when I hit backslash, it pops this little bar, and I have to scroll down with the arrow keys. It's popping up the wrong direction. It needs to pop up, not down. And I should be able to scroll through there with the mouse. And right now I can't. But other than that, I'm really liking this. Hello. And that's the other thing. I can run multiple sessions at the same time. Each session is its own brain. So right now I'm running, I said hello, that's one session. This is a second session. Each one's running its own instance of the brain. So if you have a whole team of people that are going to use your AI, you can have them all connect to it. And each one would be their own session. Here. What is the answer to all life, knowledge, and everything? See what it says. But how you market your product, you don't. It's a lot of trial and error. It's how I market it. I market it through Meta, through Google, a lot of SOE, so things like that. But the answer is not the same either way. But what's the answer? Give it the hardest puzzle known to man. I actually, it's crunching one right now. It is a very complicated puzzle. This is it right here. But it's not the hardest puzzle. And right now it's still trying to do its thing. And it keeps crashing. And that's why I'm having Anthropic here look at this. So what does it say? Continuing this with clean verification. Okay. Housekeeping note, MV been deleted at some point, so I recreated it with a UV to restore the test loop. That's why there was a pause. Yeah, I noticed the critic takes a while too. Is there a way we can speed up the critic? Because that's where it usually takes the longest, is the critic. If we can actually spread it out, and I want multiple AIs instead of running one AI at a time. Multiple AIs can kick in, and so different parts of the brain can work simultaneously. Yeah, the critic is the one that takes the longest here. Just ridiculous. It's redonkulous. There are some other questions I was asking yesterday, like right here. This is a complicated one here. So show the reasoning clearly. Let n be the number of ordered pairs and integers. And this is the thought process it went through to come up with the answer. And actually had to think about this and go through each step, did the math, calculated it. So this does have a scratch pad built into it. So, and it'll use that scratch pad. And it also has a sandbox. But the request was not for him to use any calculator or any coding to figure out the answer. He had to do it on his own and his own memory, and that's what the scratch pad does. And this is what he's using here to figure all this out. And it took him a while, but he finally came with the answer, and that is the correct answer to the question I asked him. And this took a little bit while to run too, but it actually, this is a complicated, Minimax by themselves can't solve this question. Minimax with my tool, with the brain, it solved it, no problem. Is the AI brain OS still in development? Are you not watching this stream right now? I mean, I'm in the middle of developing it as we speak. This is it right here. This is the AI OS. It's the agentic model that I'm building. It's not really like an operating system type OS. That's why I call it. It's called plyOS. Is going to be the name of it. So this looks really good. All right, now let's take a break on the CLI right now. Actually, no, let's not. Yeah, actually I do. Okay, let's take a break on the CLI right now. I need you to do a full audit of plyOS. That's what we're going to call it. And I need you to spin up some agents and do a code review and QA. But don't run any code, don't write anything. I just need, this is a viewer only, read only audit. And see what we're looking for is anything that may be disconnected, not functioning, or not wired up the way it was designed to be wired up. Yeah, so this is the plyOS right here. This is it. And this is going to be open source when I'm done with it. I'm going to release this to the world. Yeah, I like plan B. I had to jump parallel, fan out, forward, because the speed is hurting us. We definitely need to find ways to make this faster. So running multiple AIs and parallel helps it get the answer faster. But I also don't want to break the continuity of the whole thinking process of the brain as a whole unit. Fable 5 can come today. I doubt it. I don't think they're going to do anything with Fable 5 for a while. It's still grayed out for me too. And I am a U.S. citizen, so, but even I don't have access to it. I wonder if it's still thinking through that question. Are you restarting the dang server here? It shows healthy. There it goes. Oh, it ran all those. Okay, so this is still running. It's going to take a while. So I wrote 12 memory items to promote this. Good. Yeah, just stuck on the critic right now. Did Opus design the UI or was it Fable? It was Opus, but it wasn't. They're the ones who created it. It's my design. It's called an Aura design. It gives it the look and sleek, like a more minimalistic design. I don't really care for these cards. This is definitely gonna get overhauled. Because like, look at this big chunk that's missing down here. Like I got all this empty space here. There's a lot of things that I don't like that I'm gonna be fixing. And this right here is just P5 or JS5 is how this works. And I don't like it in its own window. It needs to be the whole background, and these are going to be floating in like in the inside. That's how I'm going to end up building this out. So. What is Plyrium? It's called Plyrium Echo. That's my speech to text. That's what I'm using here when I talk. So that's what this is. My Plyrium Echo. Yeah, it doesn't use this AI. No, this uses Whisper. It's a whole different AI, but that's what I use. Oh, I've heard of that riddle before. Yeah, I'll ask it that. I'll see if it can do that. I'll start a new session and ask that question here. So let me copy what you put here. And I'll clean it up here before I send it. All right. Let me clean this up a little bit. I hate it when things don't word wrap. All right. Three gods, A, B, and C, are called in no particular order: true, false, and random. True always speaks true, false always speaks false, random answers true or falsely. Based on a complete random internal coin flip or task, our task is to determine the identities of A, B, and C by asking exactly 3 yes or no questions. See what it does. No local models have solved this? Oh, okay. But this isn't a local model. It's Minimax, just to let you know. Hey, Nevo, how's it going? Are you like my projects there? Hello? Yeah. I mean, these are just tools that I like to use. I build things that I want. And I knew, I had a feeling Fable was not going to last as long as it did. So that's what gave me the idea to build something like this. So if something ever does happen to Fable, or how expensive it is for people, this is the solution right here. Yeah, Minimax is open weights, could be loaded. I'm just using their cloud base right now. This is it right here, is what I'm using, their subscription. But yeah, you're right, it can be loaded locally. And that's what's great about this tool here. If you want to run your own local AIs to run this tool, yeah, you could do that. I am building my own multi-agentic model. This is my own model that's going to compete with some of the big guys out there. It's called plyOS. And right now, I'm talking to my model right now. It's reasoning. I want to see what it comes up with that answer. My other question that I had was this one here. This is still working. This is going to take a while. This, like I said, this is a very complicated question. Minimax will not be able to do this by itself. So, but I'm hoping together it can. Yeah. And this is the newest one that we're running here. Stuck in reasoning right now. Is it a fresh model or retrained? It's not that type of model. It's a multi-agentic model. I use already pre-trained models out there, like Minimax, for instance. These are all different parts of the brain itself, like the triage, converse, executive, research, learning, memory. These are all different pieces of the brain. And each one of these is running its own version of this model, whatever model you bring to the table. So whatever, it doesn't matter what the model is. If you want to use Opus 4.8 4.8, you can. If you want to use Codex 5.5, you can. Whatever you bring to the table, that's what the models are going to be. Collectively together as a whole brain, that's what this represents here. This is the brain of the entire models. Each part of the brain has multiple models in it. But together, it's one single model. That's the multi-agentic model. It's no different than what AI did here. AI, they built MDash. MDash is a multi-agentic model right here. Microsoft's new multi-agentic model. It's a security system loop. It's for, so this is, they consider it's a harness, a multi-model agentic scanning harness. That's what MDash is. So, and they tested this against Mythos, Claude Mythos, and it beat Mythos on their CyberGem benchmark. It beat them by a huge, that's a big difference there, right? Scoring 88.45%, that's freaking, that's bad. And what they have a bunch of little mini models inside of it. And this is the workflow, how it works. Model A, Model B, and then you got 100 specialized agents per bug type. So technically, that's what my OS is. This is the idea, the whole design of it. But together, it's one model. What usage will it have? I mean, right now, what do you use AI for? You tell me what you use AI for. And then you think about that, because that's the usage this will have for you. It'll just make the AI smarter. So whatever current AI you're using right now, it'll make that current AI 10 times smarter, or even better. Multi-agents automatic might work. Okay. I mean, there's tools out there like Hermes and OpenClaw that does that for you. This is just it's a chat. Like here, let me show you here. I even have my own CLI here, right? It's called plyOS. It's like, instead of using Claude or Codex, you type plyOS, load up the CLI, and you have a model. I am talking to my model, which is inside of a Docker right now. This is the model right here. So to you, it seems like it's just a single AI model, but behind the scenes, it's a whole orchestrated organism. a huge brain. This is the model. So I can use my model here, create me a website, develop me an app. It'll actually do all that, just like you use any other model out there. How fast does it generate a token? It's as fast as whatever AI you bring to the table. If you bring a local model, it's limited on the limitations are on the models you put in it. So here, like right now, I'm using Minimax. But if you want to use, here's all the different providers you could bring in. Anthropic, you could bring in Codex, you could have OpenRouter. Here's all these different Mistral, Grok, DeepSeek. So whatever one you bring in, that's the limitation of this whole AI. So you install this on your computer or your server or your Docker and you run it. You set it up. You set up the each model and you give them their roles. Each one's going to have their own role. Let's see here. Brain routing here. Yeah, each one of these is going to have their own role. And then after that, and each one of these roles, they have their own specialties to it, their own tools, their own abilities. So, and they can actually create their own skills too. It creates its own skills and it'll use its own skills. Oh, it's restarting the server now. Dang it, I was in the middle of running that task there. Why would you restart it? Rebuild and restart. Thank you. Yeah, I'm aware of that. You restarted it. Yes, so if you want to use small local models, it'll take that small local model and it'll give it superpowers. It'll make it way smarter than it would with just using it raw. Your small local model is not going to be as powerful as Fable 5, but a whole army of them probably could be. That's the whole point of this. Asking to build a game real quick, create something live. I'm not at that point where it's got some internal issues that I'm working out right now. Speed, delivery, and plus it's inside of a Docker. I don't have access to the outside of that Docker. The model does not have access to the outside of the Docker to develop. It has a small sandbox to it. Try it again. Don't you give up on me. Did this get done or is it still running? It says it completed, which that's the other thing. Before it would fail and it wouldn't let you know why it failed. And I'm trying to solve that problem there. This says it completed. I was unable to hit budget. Okay, that's fine. That's what I wanted to see right there. Try it again. Don't you stop on me. Do you have access to my root folder? And that's why I'm building the CLI, so I can actually gain access outside of the Docker here. And that's what I'm working on. I don't know how else to explain it. I really don't. It's just like how M- works, Microsoft's M-. This is a model that they built. It is actually multiple models built inside of it. This is how it works right here. So this together collectively is one model. Underneath the hood is a bunch of little tiny specialized models. In fact, that's how Codex works. That's how Claude works. They have a bunch of specialty models built behind the scenes that you don't see. To you, you just see a single model. You think you're just talking to one model. That's all you're going to see with this too. You're just talking to one model. Under the hood, there's multiple models. problem is I keep calling it a model because that's what it is. It's called a multi-agent model. I didn't come up with that term. Microsoft is also using that term right here. New multi-agentic scanning harness. So it's a multi-agent, new multi-model agentic scanning harness. Where else did they use that term here? Yeah, multi-model, agentic. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's not, I'm not creating a single model. It's not a single LLM. You're correct about that. It's a multi-model agentic scanning harness, or multi-model agent is what it is. So I'll rephrase that. I apologize. And that's how it's classified. It's a multi-model. So you got single models, and you got multi-model. And M- is the agent. You got the model and you got the agent. So yeah, so you're right about that. And that's what this is. It's a multi-agent, or multi-agent model. Brother, those are all trained models specifically for their harness? No, they're not. The one that Microsoft uses, if you actually read the thing here, they use like ChatGPT, for instance. Let's see here. They listed it here. They just use regular models inside their M-. I forgot where they said it at here. They're not specialty. The only thing that makes them special is the skills that they were injected with. That's it. That's what makes them special. I know I'm missing something here. Hang on. Look up, do some research on Microsoft M-, their multi-agent model. And tell me what type of LLMs they're using inside of it. So let that finish there. There you go. The best public answer, Microsoft has not disclosed the exact model names inside M-. I found no official source saying it uses OK. Microsoft describes the internals models catalog, not specific model brands. They actually did release that on their first release statement. I wonder if they retracted it. So for my multi-agent, my plyOS, one of the questions people keep asking is the use case, like what's the purpose of it? So this is saying plyOS is an AI operating system for running complex work, not just answering prompts. It connects multiple specialist AI agents, memory tools, approvals, verification into one coordinated brain that can research, plan, code, audit, and improve projects over time. Yeah, so that's a good summary, what it does. Oh, I did? Oh, wow. I screwed that up, didn't I? That's funny. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's going. That's hilarious. I didn't even catch that. Thank you. It's Fabel, not Fable. It's Fabel. Maybe you don't have enough contacts. So let's actually address this because that should not be a thing. Here's something to address here. So I gave it a solution. It was processing, but it stopped in the middle of it, and I went ahead and reprompted it to go ahead and run that again, and it doesn't have the context. So why wasn't that context saved for that session? And how come it can't pick up the context after I tell it to do it? Yeah, and it's not going to be as fast as these flagship models. It definitely won't be. I don't have their infrastructure or their the power that they have. That's not the point of this. The point of this is so you don't have to depend on. If you want to pay $200 a month for an AI agent to do fast work, go for it. I'm hoping I could get a tool where people don't have to pay $200 a month for AI. They can use their local models or their $20 a month subscription models just to do the same type of work. Like I'm using Minimax right now, and it's just the little $20 monthly one. And I barely even touched the quota on this. It does pretty good work. I'm using this right here for all of those agents built in my model right now. And right, like you can see, in the last 7 days, I used 408 million tokens. And it's barely moving the needle here. So, and that's the whole point, is to take Minimax and turn it into as strong, as powerful as the $200 a month models. That's so weird. You guys see this? I don't know what's going on here, but look at the context. Isn't that weird? But looking at this, it's showing that I have a million contacts, the context window. So I don't understand what's going on there. Okay, so yeah, here we go, full audit. Okay, write me a full follow-up on root cause analysis and also the troubleshooting steps and the steps that we're going to take to fix and address every single one of these issues. I don't understand why ultracode is so freaking slow. I know it's doing a bunch of runs right now. Diverging test right here. Is that the only test you're actually running? Oh, and that test. Did it ever answer my question though? Let's see here. So if I bump you up to max then, and then try asking you, what is that going to do? Will that let it go through? Oh, it did finish. Okay. Actually, I wanted to stop that. I don't want him to look at that particular one right now. What I want is, actually, I need both these. So I need this, and I need this for triage. That's what your next project is. And are you able to finish this question next? Yeah, I do. I have both Codex and Claude. I pay for them both. What is the time budget coming from? The harness or the Minimax? Oh, the harness, not the Minimax. So if I look at this one here, I think this is one that yeah. So I hit my budget. So and this is the model time budget, which is built into, and that way. So what I'm trying to do is instead of it locked in and not giving you an answer or just sitting there forever, I have a graceful fallout, and that's what the budgeting is doing there. So after it takes so long to try to complete something, it'll and there's the answer link. It'll actually cancel itself out. I actually wrote a bunch of memories on this. Yeah, I read the comments. Yeah, I mean, you can see on my screen here, I have Codex, I have Claude, and I have Minimax. But inside my multi-agentic model here, it's just Minimax. If I go to models here, they're all set to Minimax right now. And you could actually change these if you want something different. You could change them. But right now they're just set to Minimax. But you could actually, if you want to bring, like, if I have something different, let's just say a local model or something I want to use, or like Cerebus, or custom AI, whatever. You set it up, bring your own, and you could adjust what part of the brain the model is going to be in. But it's going to be an easy install. When I'm done with this, it'll be an easy 1, 2, 3 wizard type thing. Easy setup for you guys. Yeah, you're not the one I want. You're the one I wanted here. Okay, you are running multiple agents now. Good. That's what I was hoping to do. Okay, so it's tackling all my questions, and then you're still working. You don't have the full context. Oh, you're welcome. And this may even time out before it even finishes it, but it's been running for about 5 minutes now. Like you're saying, even this is a complicated. So that's the other thing. It's not going to just spit out just an answer or hallucinate. It's actually really thinking about this and calculating and doing all the math behind, it's thinking through the problem. But I will be right back, guys. Let's step away just for a second. All right, I'm back. Had to get my peaches. I like peaches. So running hasn't timed out yet. Yeah, I'm going to try this now. So it's just a Hermes, OpenClaw, or Odysseus clone? No, it's not. And Odysseus is not even. I mean, it's so weird your guys' thought process sometimes. Hermes and OpenClaw are closer, similar together. Odysseus has nothing to do with how Hermes and OpenClaw work. Odysseus is more of a agentic tool. It's a desktop tool, is all it is. It's a very good tool. And OpenClaw is a lesser version of Hermes. Hermes is actually a better model for any agentic work that can do automation behind the scenes. And you can set up multiple agents in it, yes, but it doesn't. So what I'm building is a multi-agent model, which is a little bit different harness. It's not something that you set behind the scenes to run your whole business or anything like how Hermes is. What I'm building is an actual AI that you can put on your local machine, that you can run multiple local models or Minimax or Claudes or whatever model you decide to bring to it. And then together collectively, it's one model at the end. It's a collective model that becomes one super model. So it's way different. Go ahead and send a broadcast that to your team. Yeah, use your tools to send a broadcast to your team and say hello. Kill your background task. They're supposed to reply to you back into the main chat. Are you using the tools correctly? Actually, believe it or not, if you actually listen to the creators of Hermes, they've actually had that in development before OpenClaw even came out. They just didn't release it to the public. They were using it personally. And then after OpenClaw came out, they're like, when they saw that, and they're like, we've already built that. And they're like, we should probably release ours. And that's what happened. They did that. Yeah, if you actually, the developer of Hermes, he's a really cool guy, down to earth. You should listen to some of his interviews. I would love to meet the guy in person. He's a very smart dude. So let's see if we can do this then. Yeah, because Hermes is a way better system than OpenClaw. OpenClaw had too many issues. But my tool, it's not. I'm not competing with Hermes. Hermes is its own tool, and it's great. It's a great tool. I use it, but I'm not trying to compete with Hermes or even OpenClaw. This is a totally different thing that I'm building. It has nothing to do with what Hermes does. This will not do what Hermes does. It will not do what OpenClaw does. It's completely different. It's an agentic model that I'm building. Been running for 15 minutes. What do you use the back end and front end? Back end so you can, the back end here, so you can manage it, watch it, see what's going on, but you really don't need to. Once you get it set up, you don't need the back end. You just run the front end and treat it like a regular model. And that's what I'm building the CLI. I'm also going to build a desktop app for it too. But the CLI is so you can communicate with your model. You can actually have it do coding tasks. And I'm also going to build it into where I can connect it to my Plyrium Forge here and run multiple agents based off my agent here. I can't believe this one's still running. Plyrium Forge is a agentic development tool, like an IDE, but it's an ADE. So this tool here, I can manage multiple agents at once. So if I need a specialist, let's just say quality assurance agent here, I'm going to spawn them in. Now I have a QA and I have 2 coders and an auditor. And then this is my director. My director is the only one that I communicate with. He should delegate tasks to the team, and the team works on the same project together as a system. Instead of each individual one working on your project, they can step on each other that way. And with the orchestration, they can actually develop the same app all together and orchestrate that without breaking anything. But right now I'm having an issue. It's not able to, my director cannot communicate with my team or vice versa. And that's what I've been trying to debug right now. Broadcast out to your director and let them know you're available. I want to see if a new spawn. Maybe it's just the instance that's not working. Might have to create a whole new team. The first person that thought about this was the genius. What person? Who's that? Who's the first person that thought about what? So are you paying a monthly sub for this AI agent management tool? For Plyrium? Okay, we're talking about 2 different things here now. Plyrium Forge or my AI model here? Which one are you talking about? These are mine. I built every tool you see here. I built. I built this and I built this. Oh yeah, so this right here, yeah, I built this. If you want to check it out, go to forge.plyrium.com. I'll send you the link here if you guys are interested in it. The one up there, it's working. I also use my Plyrium Echo, which is my speech-to-text tool here that I built. So this one right here. This is what I've been using to talk to my agents. And I built this also. Yeah, it's all on here. So if you're interested in it. Thank you. Hey, Maureen, thank you and welcome. So what I'm building right now is called a multi-agentic model. It's it's gonna it's a model that you can run on your either your local computer or a cloud service or anywhere like that, and you can connect to it via with its own CLI, which I built the CLI here. It's called plyOS, and let me. Can I exit? Yeah, there we go. So this is my own CLI, and it's connected to the back end of my server here, which is running in Docker. And you'll use this to code with, to research, or whatever you decide you want to do with it. You use it like a regular model. The difference is how it's built behind the scenes. It's a whole group of different AIs that work together, orchestration together. And so technically, the whole AI is a single brain. It's just a single brain that functions and works. But inside, there's a bunch of different pieces of the brain. And each one of these pieces have different roles, different tasks, and they're all different AIs that run. And collectively together, they make an entire brain. That's how this works. There's different regions, and inside there's like the cortex here. Um, there's a whole memory system. They build their own skills. There is a council. There's a whole, like I said, a whole bunch of different AIs that are running inside of it. This is it right here, the different AIs and the different parts that they run. This is all part of the brain. And collectively together, they become one super unit. So if you want to run local AI or smaller AIs, but they actually work really well together. It says it's completed. Oh no, are you serious? Did you stop me again? Did you restart it? Why do you keep doing that? I was in the middle of doing something. Okay, here we go. Yep, still ran out of budget. When you're finished, look at this. I keep running, and so I'm giving it a really complicated task to see how well it'll perform and how it's functioning. And it doesn't complete the task. It runs out of budget. What is going on here? Let me check my email. I'll check my email. Hang on. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Cool. Thank you. I like it. You're welcome, Warren. So you can release it. Yeah, I mean, I'll release it in public. And it's up to you. If you want to use it, you can. If you don't want to, that's up to you. Hey, BMW. I use the Pro Max on all my plans. Codex and Cloud. Except Minimax. I'm using just the smallest with a $20 one for Minimax. I don't know why I can't solve this. It's so weird. Okay, it's still not sending team. Is it what? I mean, we really need to do a root cause analysis, find out why this is the connection's broken, or the tools are broken, or why it's not able to send it. I even spawned a different, like a new team member, and have him try it, and it's still not working. It's my usage at. I'm still good. Okay. Okay, continue working on the CLI. I don't think we're completely done with it. What is there left to do on it? I'm on Ultra Code on Claude, yeah. And I'm trying to burn as much as I can out of it. But it's barely moving. So I'm good. Mornex, I mean, that's up to you. Whatever you find, whatever interest you find that you have passion for. So whatever part of the IT world you want to get into. That's totally up to you. So these two are running. Try again. Yep. And then because I broke my Plyrium Forge app. I'm being worked on right now. I use Codex and stuff for that. I'm working on it. I'm having some issues right now with it. I rebuilt the entire terminal system, and doing so broke a lot of things underneath it. So, and plus when I have it to dog food itself, it I end up running into issues because I don't separate the build from my running tool, which I should. I just haven't done it yet. How long have I been working in the AI vibe coding field? It's more of a hobby, but I've been doing it for about a year now. I don't do this for a living. Okay, so these are running. Now they're verifying. So this one actually completed. So did it get truncated? What happened here? From state 4, so suffix 10 on 0. That's not the complete answer. Yeah, there's the answer length, but it's not the, it seemed like it was truncated. I wonder if my distillation is truncated out the answer. Yeah. Okay. Trying to see how well this does on this calculation here. Yeah, that's the one that should be lit up right now. It's not. That's what's running. No, I'm not a software developer. No, I've just been vibe coding for a year now, working with AI. But no, I'm not a, oh good, it completed. I'm not a software developer. Yeah, this one's a lot more complicated math here. It printed out the final answer twice. Why would it do that? What do you mean, how is that possible? I don't know what you mean. What was I looking for? Yeah, this is what I was looking for. No, not you. You. So I do want to get to the point where I can have the CLI, because if the main AI model, the multi-agent model, the plyOS, is inside of the Docker, which is in its own little container, and I'm using the CLI to communicate with it, but on my local machine, I want to be able to use the CLI to do development and coding on my local machine. And so I need it to have the tools and stuff and the ability to do that. Kind of like how real AI works, real CLIs work. Yeah, let's fix that now. Oh yeah, yeah. Copy and pasting on GPT from their web browser. You're like, okay, write this code for me, and you copy it, and you paste it, and you run it. You're like, oh, it works. Yeah, I used to do that. Seem like too technical for a vibe coder. Well, just to let you know what I do for a living, I just do this for fun. What I actually do for a living, I still do today. I am a Microsoft 365 architect. I work for a large company, and I manage their entire Microsoft cloud infrastructure. I've been in the IT field for 20 plus years. So I do have experience with how a lot of this works. I am no expert. I am not a genius. I just I like to learn, and this is doing stuff like this as a hobby is how I learn, and I develop skills doing it. So it's repetition and just keep doing it. And that's why I keep telling people it's okay to fail. Build something and fail at it, and you'll learn from it. It's okay. Your first project's not going to be perfect. Neither is your 10th project. Neither is your 100th project. But every time you build an iteration of it, it gets better. You get better. Your process, you learn techniques, you learn skills. But it's okay to fail. I fail all the time. Failure is a great way to learn, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody or yourself. It's okay to fail. You just found out about agents a month ago? Yeah, I mean, there's no wrong time. Whether it's a month ago or a year ago or even today, if you just found out. If this is something you're interested in, or you have an idea that you want to build, I mean, try building it and see how far you get. So that timed out. I still want to get this answered here. I'm curious if it will. Error the entire problem. Yeah, I know. It's too many reasons. So we have a budget governor that can't interrupt a call that's already in flight. It only checks between nodes. Okay. So reasoning, one call to minimax stream. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm looking for. Go ahead and execute the plan instead and build and create the CLI where it does this. But don't touch the plyOS side, only the CLI side. Get it prepared. Hey. This is not a soft peach. I've been chewing on this for a while now. Freaking hard. It's sweet. They're just not ripe yet. Yeah, PewDiePie, his Odysseus, that's an amazing tool. I checked it out on one of my live streams. It's actually, he did a really good job with it. But it's a desktop AI is what it is. Or it's a desktop environment. You connect your AI to it, and you can use it as a desktop. And it's no different than these desktops. This is a desktop here, and so is this one. So, did I close it? Where's my? Oh, there it is. So tell me how it all works. What's up? Ah, nothing. See, it's not slow. It's actually pretty fast, especially when it comes responding. Where's my... I shouldn't have to scroll like that. I should be able to scroll in here. What's the deal with that? That's freaking weird. Yeah. Don't have the ability to scroll. All right. That'll be fine. How do I feel about Minimax M3? That's what I'm using for my my agentic model here. It works pretty good. And also I have it in my Hermes. It does a good job. I wouldn't use it to develop apps like this. Not yet. When my app's ready, I'm going to test it. I'm going to do some benchmarks to see how well it scores on the coding. I'm going to test like the Minimax. You know, they've already done their SWE benchmark. We already know where they stand. And then I'm going to test my agent against that, use the same benchmark, and see how much more I can get out of it versus the raw version of Minimax. See how much of a jump it makes. How much RAM is the model is standing? It's in their cloud. It's just an API I connect to, so it's in their cloud. I do have a local model that it's in my GPU right now. It's constantly being worked. And the local model I use for embedding and things like that. The Minimax is not a local model, no. It's their Minimax, their flagship model that they have that I'm using. This I will test this with my local model though, when I get a lot of this worked out. But the tool itself, it hardly takes anything. Here it is right here. It's in the Docker, and in total it just takes 2.47, 2.5% of CPU use. And of course, Honcho, which is part of the memory system, it takes almost 5% of the memory usage. So, and then inside, this is like the server, the Postgres, Redis, yeah, and then Quadrant. But this is what makes all this tick right here. I can scroll here. Yes, I didn't build it around a particular model. I built a harness that can work. You can put whatever model you want in it, and then the harness itself is the multi-agent model. It's the whole brain. This is your brain right here. This is the whole model, the whole harness, and then inside the harness is different parts of the brain itself. You have you know, the reasoning, the tooling, the governance. So yeah, so here, like, you know, each one of these, like, there's a triage model, a converse model, an executive model, researcher, and so on and so forth. These are all different models, and each one is its own session. I could change this. Like, I could say I want my reasoning to be Claude. I want the tool builder to be my local model, or my critic, I want it to be Codex. I could do that, and then I could set their, you know, their tier and how high they are. My embedding model, you know, I'm just using my local embedding model. I can use the one that's built into this, which is a very small model, and it's just for embedding. And then I could do my main chat model, and then I could choose the whole brain. Like, I just want the Claude's description to be the whole brain from each part, managing each piece of it. Yeah, they're all specialized. Every single one of them, they're all specialized. And when I go to, they're specialized by skills. I believe if I go to, why do you keep doing that to me? It's rebuilding that right now. Give me a second while it rebuilds it. There it goes. All right, so here's the bindings. I'm trying to find out where the, did I remove it? I might have removed it already. But each one is, yeah, okay, here, this is what I was looking for. Each one will have its own injection, their own role, based off of skills. And that way, and each one is its own session. So there's no overlapping with each other. So each mini-max model in there thinks they have their own identity to it. And then when it runs, so here's one right now it's running. So there are certain steps that it takes, certain nodes, and they can actually talk to each other in a way. So if researching says, you know, let me go ahead and see if we have any memory of that first, and it'll reach out to the memory module, and it'll communicate. Memory is like, yeah, we don't have anything on that, and it'll go back to the research, and research is like, okay, we don't have nothing in memory, so let's go online and see what we need to do. So it'll reach out to the tools and say, hey, we need to go online and get this information. Tools will reach back and give the researcher information. The researcher would reach out to the learning and say, hey, here's some of the new information we figured out. I need you to figure out how we can put all this together. The learning reaches back to the researcher and give them all the information. The researcher will continue and compile its research total, and it'll send it off to the next one after that. So it's constantly going back and forth doing things. And they talk in real small talk too. They don't use like full context versions going back and forth. It's real small talk. Okay, so it says it fixed it. So let's go ahead and try that run again here. So, oh, it's just using sandbox. That's fine. Go ahead. And then where was it here? Yeah, this is the question here. I want to rerun this, but as a new, and we're going to follow this. Not yet. I'm going to implement it where you can see that conversation in between them all. You just get a rough estimate what that conversation looks like. So, like this one's completed here, and I can come in here and look at the decision tree. And right here is technically the rational output, the decision. Direct answer, no tools. Terminal nodes, and the answer length. So the finalized answer length. And so history, return, verb. So it's really small talk in between both of them to get what they need done, to make it faster. They don't need full context between both. That's not the run I was looking for. This is the run I'm looking for. This is what I want. I should be able to see that live, but it takes me to the wrong one. Which is the wrong session ID. Try again, rejected by critic. And that happens too. You know, sometimes things get rejected. And here's the whole conversation between them all. This is their decision log. And each one needs a council member. And this would have longer conversations between each other, their output.
Yeah, we don't want anything with any kind of water damage.
Why are these memory writes getting rejected though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not something they need to save in their memory.
No, maybe it's not working.
Okay.
I'm gonna get errors.
Interesting.
How much would it be?
So let's capture the session ID, get this in. So I captured this. This is one run that we were doing, and it asked for a tool approval for the sandbox. That's good. We don't need that. You know, it's a sandbox inside of a Docker. We don't need to wait for my approval. That's what the AI council is supposed to be able to approve or disapprove. So let's get rid of that. Second of all, it seems like there's some mixed context in there. Did you finish?
They don't give you the full amount per run, right? They just give you like a set amount.
Nice.
Basically, just tell them how much it costs.
Woohoo! And if I go, oops, I can Control C. Oh. Nice. Hey, the scrolling works again. But scrolling does not work in here. Give me a short story.
Okay, so. Okay.
All right, what's the list look like now? What the to-do list? What's left is there to do?
Okay, so, okay, that's what I was gonna ask you.
So I got 3 runs going now. This one shouldn't be taking that long though. I don't understand where these keep coming up. These new conversations.
You guys are loading them together, even though you don't have to pay. Do you guys both get that amount, or do they split?
But I'm going to get off. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm getting hungry. But I'll be back on a little bit later today, guys. I'm hoping to get a lot more done and show you the new build. So, and I also need to work on Plyrium Forge, make sure all of my bugs are fixed out of that before I can release the newest update. But I appreciate you guys for hanging out, and I will see you guys later on this evening. Thank you, guys.